Yeah. Oh. All right, if I could have everyone's attention, please. It is 6:32. Is this on? Why isn't that sound on? I think I have it all on here, Mayor Nichols. All right, it is 6:32. That seems like it's, yeah. We will call the council meeting to order at this time. Welcome to those in attendance, those watching at home, and to the council. At this time, we will have the clerk call the roll.
Beeman,
Here.
Breckelberg, Schley,
Here.
Dunbar, DeBates,
Here.
Anderson,
Here.
Bry,
Here.
Sikowitz,
Here.
Norrell,
Here.
Cummings.
Here.
All right, good.
The sound does not seem to be working at all. No one can hear us out there other than my loud voice? Is the microphone on? Yeah.
Yeah, no.
It's all green. I couldn't hear Norrell.
Was it working during finance?
No big deal.
Yeah, it was. Oh, I just heard something.
Now can you hear me? All right. Sorry about that. It was off. We called the roll. All members are present. Alderman Norrell is on Zoom and Alderman Dunbar is excused. At this time, will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? If you could remain standing after that for a prayer by our Council President, Mike Cummings. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, we are grateful for the trust placed in us by our community and for the opportunity to serve its people. As we undertake the important work before us, we humbly ask for your divine guidance. Grant us clear minds and discern the best path forward, compassionate hearts to understand the needs of all our residents, and the courage to make the decisions that truly benefit our city. May our deliberations here today be marked with respect, collaboration, and shared commitment to progress. Guide us, O Lord, to lead us with integrity and to be a beacon of unity and stability in this world. We offer this prayer with our hope and dedication for the future of our beloved city. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. All right, at this time, we have 3 presentations, all for oaths of office. We're going to begin with Fire Lieutenant Thomas Christensen. So if Lieutenant Christensen and his family and all members of the Manitowoc Fire and Rescue Department could come up. Right after that, we'll have the oath of office to Police Officer Logan Gilbert. So if all members of the Manitowoc Police Department and Officer Gilbert's family could come up and join him at that time. And then finally, we will have Assistant Chief of Police John Musial, if his family and all the police department could remain up there for that as well. So we will begin with Fire Lieutenant Thomas Christensen.
You don't travel lightly. No. Whenever you're ready, please raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, Thomas Christensen,
I, Thomas Christensen,
solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of Fire Lieutenant for the City of Manitowoc
that of Fire Lieutenant of the City of Manitowoc
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Get your signature on that copy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gilbert and the Manitowoc Police Department members who are here, and your family. And we'll take Assistant Chief Musial right after that. If his family also wants to go up with him, you're more than welcome. Yep, you can go up and stand by him, yep. Any family members, go stand by whoever you want now, and
Is your gang all here?
gather everyone in for please
Okay.
before we start.
I think so.
Yeah, we need someone to take a photo. Chief?
All right.
Yeah, we do need you still, how about that?
Okay. Whenever you're ready, please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Logan Gilbert,
I, Logan Gilbert,
solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the
You're fine.
Constitution of the
State of
United-
Wisconsin.
State of
Yep.
Wisconsin,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of police officer for the city of Manitowoc
police officer for the city of Manitowoc
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Don't worry, I'm scared of these people. Come on over here, we'll have you shake their hands right after. Yeah, Assistant Chief. Assistant Chief Musial?
Can we meet John usually in a second? Is that what we're doing? What would you like?
Just,
You got it. Glad I asked. Hey, Jen.
you come closer. Yeah, you got it.
Nobody travels lightly around here.
Guess not.
All right. Whenever you're ready, please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, John Musial,
I, John Musial,
solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of Assistant Chief of Police for the City of Manitowoc
of Assistant Chief of Police for the City of Manitowoc
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Can I collect a signature from you, John?
Yeah.
Just on this top line, please.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna exit this meeting. Find an empty seat, you know? Yeah, oh yeah, you give him. Yeah, okay, good. Make sure he buys you one. All right, congratulations to all the new members of the Manitowoc Fire and Rescue Department and Manitowoc Police Department. At this time, we have one public hearing to be held for the purpose of hearing any and all interested parties in the matter of a proposed change in zone from B2 Neighborhood Business to R6 Multiple Family District for property located at the northwest corner of Vebon and South 42nd Streets. We'll have the clerk read the proof of publication.
Notice of this public hearing was published in the Herald Times on June 2nd and June 9th.
Thank you. Adam Tagan is on PTO today, so I'll just share the quick update on this. You have the information at the end of the agenda under Plan Commission. But this rezoning makes sense for the existing apartments on the property. There are already quite a few there. With this change, it allows a little more flexibility to complete the build-out of the site, which they plan to begin this year. This is consistent with the comprehensive plan, and staff and the Plan Commission unanimously approved the request. Are there any questions from the council on this item? If not, this is a public hearing for this specific subject matter. If there's anyone here to speak on this specific subject matter, you may do so at this time. Anyone here to speak on this specific subject matter? Going once, twice? We'll close this public hearing. We'll take that item up at the end of the agenda. Next item on the agenda is public input. If there's anyone here who wants to speak on anything germane to the business of the city of Manitowoc or anything on the agenda, you may do so at this time. You'll have 5 minutes. Just please raise your hand and I will call upon you. And just state your name and address for the record, please. Yes, sir, you first. Ma'am, we'll take you next, and then you, sir. Just please state your name and address for the record.
Hi, my name is Jeff Bell, 529 West Lawn Boulevard. I'm here representing some of your constituents from the city of Manitowoc. Some of them you may already know by name or have heard them from the House window when you campaigned for office. Here's some of their names. Bella, Marty, Walter, Big Jake, Little Jake, Augie, Bean, Rowdy, Stella, Polar, Tipper, Jackson, Uno, Kalen, Bear, Tigger, Kodak, Harvey, and Piper. I'm sorry if I missed anybody. These are some of the dogs that you can meet at Howison Park anytime Monday through Friday from about 10 to 12. Some of them are always there. They want to thank you for this facility that you allow them to chase a few balls and run with their friends, especially my dog, Uno. As the dogs don't care, especially we know a dog named Jackson, who is a lab, it tends to get pretty muddy. Jackson doesn't care. He's a lab. He likes the mud. But we're looking to see if we can have some conditions changed at Halverson Park. And I got a phone call today from Brock Wendingkamp, and I commend him for calling me today. I reached out to him, and he called me today and says, we're going to look at some of these issues. And I would like to invite any of you alder people, District 5 especially, to stop by during those times, Monday through Friday, 10 to 12, and I'll guarantee you some of us are there to see what we're talking about. It gets pretty muddy at times at the entrance. Brock says that they're thinking about maybe adding some cement at the entranceways. Also, maybe some cement under the picnic tables. But there's also 2 low points in Halverson Park that are pretty nasty after it's rained and they don't settle real quick. And that there's a sand pit in there also that's got some big holes that some of our dogs could get injured by just going. And we'd appreciate if somebody would just stop by and take a look. And Brock did a great job reaching out for me today to say we're looking at these issues. So I would like to invite any of you to stop by at those times to meet some of your constituents. I invite Mayor Nichols and you all to stop by, especially the aldermen who control the purse strings, and take a look at the low spots. The entrances are in the large holes in the sand pit. I promise we won't hold it against you for not including us in the DORA program. For those who don't know what that is, the designated outdoor refreshment area. We forgive you for not including us in that area. We just like our dogs in the running space that they can do. So thank you for this time. Thank you for Brock reaching out. And it's a great facility. The bathrooms, the guy who I believe works for Ascend who stops by and helps clean it up does a great job. But there are a couple issues there that need to be addressed, and we'd appreciate it if you take a look at them. Once again, thank you for the park.
Thank you for your comments, and thank you for speaking on behalf of our four-legged friends. Anyone else interested in speaking? We have, ma'am, you are next, I believe. Yes. If you just could come up and state your name and address for the record. Either one of you? Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, council members, my name is Dan Schultz. I live at 4711 River Heights Drive. I just wanted to take a moment of your time to talk about I know that tonight you're voting on whether or not to purchase a plot of land at the end of Sylvan Drive for a future parking lot and trailhead for that River Heights Park. And me and my neighbors, were very much opposed to you purchasing that land, to you putting a parking lot back there. And I know that they're gonna cover a lot of material with you, so I'm just gonna hit one standpoint of it that I really want you to consider. Because if I was any of you guys, I'd probably be like, well, Todd, that's sort of your problem, because that's just a little neighborhood, you know, they're probably just being a little selfish because they don't want other people back in their yards and all that stuff. But I would like you to consider it from a much broader standpoint. you want to be fiscally responsible in your position. The people of Manitowoc are trusting you to spend their money well. I believe that that would be a complete waste of your money, of my money, my tax money. The lot itself is $60,000, okay? And that's the land. Still, when you add on the cost of putting in a parking lot, I trust you'd put up a camera, maybe a light, all that kind of stuff, we're probably talking $100,000, okay? To take care of an area that is pretty much has to remain undeveloped. Now, if I didn't live over there, I would think that seems like a great place for a park. We've got that park there, it's just untapped. Well, it has to remain untapped. This is my 8th summer living in my house, and I'm right along the ledge. And 4 of the spring times that I've been there, the river has been rerouted because of ice dams. And it's not just that there's water down there. The river is flowing through at maximum speed, and it completely changes the landscape down there. So what I had one summer, when I first got here, there were trails down there that some of the neighbors had mowed in. I mean, that's long gone. I mean, it moves trees. So if you did try to build anything down there, now we're talking even more of a waste of taxpayer money because nothing's gonna last down there. If you just stop by in the springtime and you see the river flowing through, you know, it's up on the hill, partway up the hill, it's moving fast, and it's maybe not every year would you have to go in there and spend a lot of money to maintain that park, but many years you would have to. So I think that long-term would be a waste of our money also. And I know Mayor Nichols, one of my neighbors, I know he sends you pictures and maybe in video of that, so you've probably seen what we're talking about. So I would like you to consider that. So even if you take that initial $60,000, wouldn't some of your constituents prefer to have parks in your neighborhood worked on with that $60,000 instead? Or if you look long-term, the money that would have to keep going into this. Maybe, I mean, if someone's thinking about building along that ledge, then you're talking about potential problems with homeowners and their homes because of the damaged ledge of removing of trees. And I don't know how far people have thought on this, but I just think what is initially $60,000, and that might seem like not a lot of money when you take the whole budget that you guys look at, but in my book, it's still a lot of money, which could grow into a lot more, and it could be put into better use at parks in your own districts, and even to keep making the ones in my district better. And I do appreciate, I do have to say thank you guys. The new pickleball courts and the work that's been done at Rain Park has been wonderful. So I do thank you for that, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments. Yes, you are up. Just please state your name and address for the record, please.
Councilman, Mayor, my name is Kat Halligan. I actually live at 4705 River Heights Drive. My home property, the backyard of my property, is adjacent to the lot in consideration for this parking area. My main concerns are not only the financial aspects that my neighbor Dan has already spoken about, but I'm a little more concerned about the safety aspect. There's a lot of us that have kids. He has several younger children, mine are a little bit older. I am more concerned about the fact that this is a landlocked area. There are homes and private properties surrounding the entire thing except for the very tip, which is Sylvan Drive. My concern is what a parking area brings to my neighborhood after dark when the park hours are till 11 p.m. I can tell you that in addition to what Dan said about it being dangerous, I actually have pictures of the ice dam that formed this spring, and it was very dangerous. I have had my kids go down the hill, they've slid, they've fallen. It's not really a safe place for family, like little kids to be. I think it's misrepresented on the website, the park itself. So if you're gonna develop something with $60,000 and plus, like he said, you're talking maintenance on that place, moving into the future if you do purchase it. Currently, myself and the neighbor are the ones that are taking care of the grass and all the things, getting a nice area for people to even get to the park. The few people that do show up, I have a Ring camera on my garage that 24 hours worth of footage, 7 days a week for the last 3 years. And the most cars that have ever been parked on our street with people going to that park were 5. And that was only one time. I don't actually think parking at this park is an issue at all. I think a lot of the complaints that the city received regarding parking in my neighborhood for this park was from the previous homeowner of my home. He was an older gentleman, and he didn't like people in his space. He purchased that lot intentionally, and then I don't know that he realized there was an easement and that people were gonna be walking between his 2 properties that he owned. I think it's more of an issue of, there's other parks. There's the gentleman talking about the dog park that obviously probably needs the roughly $60,000 worth of improvements based off of concrete and other things that they're dealing with. That would be a much better use of your money than putting a parking lot in a space that actually doesn't really need one. I'm concerned about the type of people it's gonna bring if you add a parking space. Right now, we're just getting fishermen and the occasional hiker that wants to go and see the river. When families do show up, I see them out my kitchen window, and they leave within 5 minutes because they get to the edge of the hill and they realize that that is not a park that's suitable for them to go down and visit. And again, I really don't, in my own backyard, I really don't want to see concrete 20 feet off of my property with streetlights or anything like that, because eventually, if you put a parking place in there, it's going to need to be lit up, especially if you're going to continue with the hours of going till 11 p.m., which is after dusk. I do have concerns with that. That's obviously another matter, but I don't think parks that are for hiking and fishing should have hours past dusk. They should be dawn to dusk only. I think that's pretty much all I have to say.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else interested in speaking? Sure, sir, yes, if you, and then we'll take you in next, sir. Just please state your name and address for the record.
Hi, my name is Steve Mangan. I live at 1621 Sylvan Drive. My neighbors have pretty much hit on all our concerns already. My wife and I are opposed to that. Pretty much, there's not much left for me to say. They pretty much covered it all. Only thing I can say is there's no need for a parking lot because I've been there 10 years now, and the only time we had problems was during the COVID years where the kids figured out that was a place to party, and there was all kinds of parties down there, and there was cars up and down the street. Other times, like you said, during spring when the trout are running, 3-4 cars there at the most. And like you said, most people come and go a couple hours, and that's it. So I think the money, like you said, could be better off spent elsewhere. And I don't have much else to say because my neighbors pretty much covered it, so thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Yes, sir? Just please state your name and address for the record.
Jeff Rochon, 858 North 15th. My brother-in-law, Mike Morris, and I own the schooner Utopia, which a lot of you may have seen tied up in the river next to the cobia. I would like to thank the city, and especially any of the city's employees who were involved in the decision to allow us to tie up at your dock right outside here. Our usual docks, we either have to climb 4 feet into the boat or 4 feet down to the boat. At this dock, we can step right from the dock onto the deck, something that was especially appreciated by the bride in her wedding dress. So thank you very much. I'd also like to offer an open invitation to you, Mr. Mayor, and to anybody on the council to come aboard and take a tour of the vessel. You'll usually find us tied down there by the cobia, and if you see us there, you're welcome at any time. She's a famous old thing with a really interesting history, including a voyage around the world. If you're interested in the history, you can read all about it online. So again, thank you. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else interested in speaking? Yes, sir? Just state your name and address for the record, please.
Thank you for letting me speak. My name is Lee Dvorak, 1617 Sylvan Drive. Just want to touch on what Dan had said earlier. I don't know if has anyone been to that park at all? Recently or years ago? Well, what it is it is an east-west down-sloping path that goes down to the river, and I believe it used to be a corridor to get to western Manitowoc County. That is it's pretty much washed away, and a lot of the sump pumps legally can empty there, and it erodes the hill, which is fine. That's all legal. Now, what I want to say about that is you get down to the bottom of the hill that may have once been a road, impassable now except for maybe an ATV. You get to the bottom of the hill and it's brambles, trees that are down. There is not a clear space. My concern is the Parks Department wanting to take on an extra challenge of clearing a path, say, to the river, because literally it's blocked. There's no clear path to the river. And also, that's a liability for the city too, with people having to go over trees, and Lord only knows what they're gonna do down there. We've lived there for 27 years. We've had trouble with, kids going down there and partying, or for a while, someone's thought it was a drug drop. But overall, I live basically the third car there would park in front of my house. It's not a big deal. Usually people, you can just talk with them, and it doesn't seem like there's ever any overcrowding. So I don't know. I just think from a liability standpoint, Parks Department having another big project on their hands, and the money. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else interested in speaking for public input? Anyone else interested? Was there any previous public input submitted?
There was not.
One last time. We'll close public input. Of course, this item is on the agenda, so this will be discussed by the council during the meeting. We'll move to appointments. I have a few appointments this evening as attached. First is to the Harbor Commission. Appoint Elizabeth Roberts for a term to expire 6/1/27. Manitowoc International Relations Association, appoint Tomas Salinas. There's no term limit on that one. Police and Fire Commission, reappoint Matthew Sauer for a term to expire April 30th of 2030. And the Room Tax Commission, myself, Alderman Bry, Alderman Dunbar, Pat Riley, Shooter Locke, and Andy Wilby. Look for a motion to approve.
Make the motion to approve.
Motion and a second by Alderman Schley. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion carries unanimously. Alderman Narell, we'll just assume you vote aye, because you have a delay, of course, but we'll just assume you vote aye unless you say otherwise, okay?
Sounds good, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll move on to consent agenda. Is there anything to be removed from the consent agenda? If not, I would look for a motion to approve.
Make the motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. We'll move then down to item I, committee reports, and we will start with Committee of the Whole and Council President Mike Cummings.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The clerk has the documents.
We have document 458, which is a purchase of property for park purposes located on Sylvan Drive. Committee returns same, recommending approval.
Council, your pleasure on this report.
Recommend to approve the committee's report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second by Alderman Debates. Discussion. Alderman Sikowitz.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I know I expressed concerns over this purchase in closed session, so I won't rehash a lot of the information that I went through then. But I agree with the citizens that there isn't a need here for this park to be developed. I think if we were looking at developing this land, this purchase makes all the sense in the world. If we were looking to establish trails within the city, but we already have Lower Shooty Park. We already invested quite a bit of money into Camp Vitz. We have the Lower Shooty Park that attaches to Riverview Drive Park. So it's not for a lack of trails in the city that we're looking at, but also this purchase comes with additional costs that a lot of citizens talked about, but we haven't discussed any plan for investing in this park. I don't see this development happening for quite a few years, if at all. This lot is not buildable where it's suitable, with how the easement goes. So I don't know the rush to purchase, and it doesn't make sense for me long-term for this property. The development, I can't see within the next 30 years of where we're gonna invest money into this park. We've talked about, sometimes ad nauseum, with investing in our current parks and not creating amenities at existing parks. This would purely be creating an amenity at existing park that is rightfully so underutilized, partly because of the topography of the land. I don't see the investment in this park making sense for long-term. There's other parks that the investment could be in that we've worked at creating a lot of infrastructure through existing parks. So while I'm not advocating selling the land or getting rid of this park, I think holding the current situation is more than fine with the status quo. So thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Cummings.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Alder Sikowitz, for your comments. The reason why I'm supporting the purchase of this piece, and it's going to kind of highlight off of some of the stuff that Alder Sikowitz said as well. In no discussion do we have a plan at this moment for the actual parking lot or development of that piece. But the reason why I'm supporting is if we don't purchase this property now with it being up for sale, that we might lose the ability to purchase that at any point in the future. And looking at the long-term aspect, whether it happens in 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, right now we have a 23.99 acre park that the city does have without even the ability to have a trailhead at some point, whether that be 10 years, 30 years, whatever time that is. So the reason why I'm supporting it is for the long-term aspect of at least having the ability to put something there to have the park utilized in the future. That's it.
Thank you. Further discussion? Alderman Reckelberg.
Yeah, I'm in an interesting situation here. I don't have a good handle on this particular item as I have on when we're putting in sidewalks or not putting in sidewalks in my district. Or are we putting in the boulevard, or are we not pulling in the boulevard? I was able to sit down or walk and talk with almost everybody in those neighborhoods and got a very good feel on how I should vote. I don't have that same handle on this one. It's about 50-50. Tonight we've heard by a few people luckily come up, and we know we appreciate when our constituents come and give us input like this at our meetings. It runs about 50-50. Tonight we've heard the ones that definitely would like to see us forego not purchasing that property. And I have about 4 or 5 that contacted me that says, please do something. So it's not a hot item one way or another. We have a handful for and a handful against. I can really appreciate Alder Sikowitz's comments that he made regarding this. Especially when it comes to the comments about the dollars and cents. You know how I really analyzed the budget at budget time and put out documents that even the mayor goes, oh my God, he's at it again. So I have mixed emotions. Do we go ahead with this or not? The only reason I would go ahead with it is, as was mentioned, it's available now at a particular price. While I do not agree with the price it's being charged, I think it is overvalued. I agree with Alderman Sikowitz that if we don't buy it now, it probably will be available 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, because I don't see somebody paying that price and then building a home on that property with the way it's situated. So I'm really at a loss. I would, when it comes time for a vote, it'll be interesting because I am really on a fence. It's flip a coin because I agree with Alderman Sikowitz. I think we could wait. But I'm trying to represent my district, and it's not easy when it's kind of 50-50, but I will take a vote when the vote comes, and hopefully, whether you're with me or against me, I hope they respect how hard it was to vote on it, so thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Reckelberg. I have Alderman Debates next.
So with how everyone's speaking about the tax money that's going to purchase this land, as far as I understand it, this money is set aside to purchase more green space for the city from companies that did not have enough green space. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the funds will be coming from what's called the Parkland Dedication Fund. These are funds that are in a certain account where when there's a new subdivision built, developers have a choice to either build a park within that subdivision or pay the city in lieu of building a park. So the initial dollars for this purchase are 100% from that Parkland Dedication Fund, which is not general property tax dollars. Granted, comments that were made, other funds in the future obviously would be from general fund dollars if there was a parking lot or any improvements.
So with knowing that and knowing that we have to spend this money that way, I would rather see this purchase happen at this location than us to start another park or hope that land gets for sale near another park. So I feel like it's not a terrible investment because it's not actually our tax dollars and it has to be spent this way. So I'm gonna vote for this purchase. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Debates. Further discussion? Alderman Reckelberg.
Last but not least, no matter which way this goes, let's say it's favorable, I would hope that when it does come time, and I don't think that time is going to be anytime soon, at least putting in a parking lot or lights for a parking lot or cameras or this, that, or the next thing, if it does go through and we do that, I would hope that we seriously look at the parking lot, the lights in the parking lot, so it is not a distraction to the neighbors, but yet provides safe passage, if you will. And I certainly would look at the dawn to dusk hours for that because it is a unique parcel of property and a unique situation there. So something like that I hope would be discussed if it does end up. So thank you.
Thank you. Any final discussion? Seeing none, then all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carries 8-1. Alderman Sitkowitz voting no. Thank you. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda under Committee of the Whole.
Document 477 is a report of the Special Events Committee recommending approval for a variety of events subject to council action. Committee returns same, recommending approval.
Council, your pleasure on this report.
To approve, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion second, discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Anything else, Council President Cummings?
That concludes the business of the Committee of the Whole, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Or Mr. Mayor.
As you. You got the more favorable title. Thank you. Move then to the Finance Committee and Alderman Jim Bry as chair.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The clerk has our documents. I'm trying to think of something that rhymes with 28 with, we'll work on that.
Okay.
Document 425 is a resolution to carry forward to 2025 budget various appropriations budgeted in 2024. Committee returns same, recommending to adopt the resolution.
Council, your pleasure on this resolution.
Move to adopt the resolution, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 462 is a resolution declaring official intent to reimburse expenditures from proceeds of borrowing. Committee returns same, recommending to adopt the resolution.
Council, your pleasure on this resolution.
Move to adopt the resolution, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 473 is a 2-year operator's license application for B. Summers. Committee returns same, recommending approval of the license pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 111.335.
Council, your pleasure on this report.
Move for the adoption of the committee's report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion second. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 474 is a two-year operator's license application for M. Luco. Committee returned same, recommending approval of the license pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 111.335.
Council, your pleasure on this report.
Move for the adoption of the committee's report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion second, discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Anything else, Alderman Bry?
Just quickly, our next Finance Committee meeting will be Tuesday, July 1st, 5:30 PM here in the Common Council chambers. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll move then to the Personnel Committee. Alderman Eric Sitkowitz is chair.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The clerk has our documents this evening.
Document 419 is a recommendation to alleviate pay compression and protective services. Committee returned same, recommending to approve as presented.
Council, your pleasure on this report.
Move for the adoption of the committee's report, Mr. Mayor.
Second. Motion and a second, discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 420 is a 10-year lump sum payments for part-time employees. Committee returned same, recommending to approve as presented.
Council, your pleasure on this report.
Move for the adoption of the committee's report, Mr. Mayor.
Second. Motion and a second, discussion. Alderman Sitkowitz.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just kind of a follow-up to this item. If you remember during the budget discussions last year, we included the 10-year payment for longevity for full-time employees. This year, we're recommending to the mayor to include into the budget the payment for the 20 for part-time employees as well as a thank you for longevity.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 459 is a resolution for seasonal employment of supervisory personnel relatives. Committee returned same, recommending to adopt the resolution.
Council, your pleasure on this resolution.
Move for the adoption of the committee's report, Mr. Mayor.
Second. Motion and a second, discussion. Alderman Sitkowitz.
It's a friendly reminder that this does take a roll call vote.
Thank you, Alderman Sitkowitz. Any further discussion? If not, we'll have the clerk call the roll.
Beeman.
Aye.
Reckelberg.
Aye.
Schley.
Aye.
Debates.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Bry.
Aye.
Sitkowitz.
Aye.
Norrell.
Aye.
Cummings.
Aye. Motion carried unanimously. Anything else, Alderman Sitkowitz?
Nothing at this time, Mr. Mayor, except that our next meeting will be Monday, July 7th in council chambers.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. Move to the Public Infrastructure Committee. Alderman Bill Schley is chair.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The clerk has the documents.
Document 430 is the Senior Center Long Range Plan Request for Proposal. Committee returned same, recommending approval for city staff to send out an RFP for Senior Center Long Range Plan.
Council, your pleasure on this report.
Move to approve the report.
Second.
Motion second, discussion. Alderman Schley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This action is just to get the wheels turning on a study, to determine what actions need to be taken to update and improve our senior center to better serve our community. And I think it's about time.
Thank you, Alderman Schley. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 434 is a right-of-way permit pavement restoration fee increase request. Committee returned same, recommending approval of fee increases for permit pavement restoration.
Council, your pleasure on this report.
Recommend to approve the increases.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion. Alderman Schley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just quickly, these increases are simply to bring our current pricing in line with current costs. It's not trying to bring in extra funds for the city in any way, shape, or form.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 435 is a LRIP project for the 2026-2027 funding cycle. Committee returned same, recommending 6th to 10th Street, Franklin Street to 6th to 10th Street.
Council, your pleasure on this report.
Recommend approving the use of funds for the improvement of Franklin Street from 6th to 10th Street.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 439 is Transit WIPTA Conference Request. Committee returned same, recommending approval for out-of-state travel for WIPTA Conference in Minnesota.
Council, your pleasure on this report.
Move to approve funds for out-of-state travel.
Second. Motion second, discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 460 is a municipal water installation agreement with Richard Brunig, 3702 Hecker Road. Committee returned same, recommending approval of the agreement.
Council, your pleasure on this report.
Move to approve the agreement.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Anything else, Alderman Schley?
That exhausts our agenda. Our next meeting will be, I think it's January 2nd. Yes, January 2nd.
January?
January, right.
I'm glad you're taking the rest of the year off. You're like the state assembly, like just you're done.
No, thanks. I do not want to be in the assembly.
Hey, thank you all.
No, no,
Thank
no,
you,
no.
Jim.
July 2nd.
July.
Trying to avoid the fact that my birthday's 4 days after that, and I really want to avoid that,
Well,
but yeah.
well, guess what? Your birthday's in January too after that, so.
Well, why not? I'll take two. Anyway, it's July 2nd at 5:30 right here in these chambers.
Thank you, Alderman Schley. Move to the Public Safety Committee, and Alderman Chad Beaman is chair.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have no documents at this time.
Thank you. We'll move then to the final item, the Plan Commission document.
Document 463 is an ordinance amending the amended zone map of the City of Manitowoc entitled Zoning Ordinance of the Municipal Code of the City of Manitowoc, Forest Creek LLC, Vibon, and South 42nd Streets, parcel 835401010. Plan Commission returns same, recommending to adopt the ordinance.
Council, your pleasure on this ordinance.
Move for the adoption of the ordinance, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. That exhausts our agenda. Is there any other business to come before the council? Alderman Schley?
I just want to comment that with the crappy weather we've been having, it feels like January. Thank you very much.
Hey, well, then we should probably remind people to attend the January 4th Independence Day Parade that is happening on Friday, January. July 4th. Any other business to come before the council? If not, I'd look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We are adjourned.